Welcome back, everybody. Another successful week. I hope everybody had. And once again, I am your host, Rhonda Kulch, and you are tuned in to the Credit Authority. Every week, we love to interview entrepreneurs, business owners, sometimes friends of mine that have a message or somebody who's got a philanthropic endeavor. Today, we have a client of mine who I would love for everybody to meet, and his name is Simon. And Simon represents an emerging, I want to say, organization, and they are in a niche, a business niche that I have no knowledge of. So together on today's episode, we are going to learn all about MVP and sports betting. So Simon, thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully you will enlighten everybody listening today about the world of sports betting. So let's start with, who are you? What's your background? Tell us a little bit about who you are so that we know who we're going to do business with.
Yeah, so thanks for the intro, Rhonda. I would say I'm a sports nut through and through since I was a little kid. My crib outside when I was growing up was outside a football stadium. So always been into sports. Grew up in New Jersey, went to Syracuse, majored in sport management, worked in the sports industry for a bit, but I've always found a love for sports betting. That's always been something I love, and I'm especially into professional football. That's my watch every single game, probably more than anybody you'll ever meet. So.
I love it. Well, this year I was scheduled to go down to the Super Bowl, and the goal was for me to work on Radio Row with a colleague of mine, Sports Philanthropy Network. But first of all, we don't know who's going down yet. And second of all, New Orleans, really small city. So if I don't get down there and you do, just reach out and I'll let you know who you should connect with, and we'll get you down onto Radio Row. So let's talk a little bit about how you emerged into sports betting. Was it a hobby that you've decided to turn into a career? Because you hear a lot about different platforms, but somebody like me, probably older than your parents, right? We've had this conversation. I treat you like a child. But the idea is that you and your generation are so different than my generation growing up, and we have access to different information. So how did you get involved in sports betting?
I got involved at Syracuse University as a end of my freshman year towards the sophomore year. Just started betting personally myself. Was always into football, but a lot of people just came to my room at my fraternity house and saw me live betting the NFL, which I'm sure we'll dive into more, which was really unique from them, and just saw my passion for the game. And I started figuring out algorithms and systems from there, and then people in my fraternity were like, "Oh, who do you got for this game?" and started asking for my advice. So that's really where it started for me at Syracuse, and just giving my knowledge to my friends at the time, and didn't think it would be a business. But we'll dive more into that. Yeah.
So you're away at school, you have this little hobby, and everybody has something going on, and you're focused on sports betting, specifically around football. So this is obviously different than buying a box, right? You have those boxes, you could buy a number. So this is a little bit different. And you're speaking about algorithms. So tell us a little bit about your journey. So you started doing sports betting, you've created a system, but now you want to grow this into a business. What does that look like?
Yeah, so going back to kind of the foundation of where like algorithms and systems started, my best friend, he has been in crypto for a while. He's done very well for himself. We grew up as childhood friends, and he really encouraged me on the business front how to look at the number side of things and take out the football part and really use that for betting purposes. So and he said, try to find a niche market, which I did. I found the live betting for the NFL. I was doing a lot of these like handwritten building my own models, algorithms, and such, and did that for like 5, 6 years until I stumbled across this company that we're partnered with now called IntelliBets for the live betting. So really started with my crypto friend and him giving me the principles I needed, and just sitting down on Sundays, Mondays, Thursdays when my stock market, you could say, was open, and just diving into, hey, how do I take advantage of this live betting market that nobody's really tapped into? It's still kind of an untapped market right now.
So you have success in obviously this industry, but it's also a passion project for you as well. How do you determine when you go live, how to charge your clients? Like, is there or customers, I don't know what you refer to them as, but somewhere there needs to be a platform where you're making money on your success and your algorithm. So how do you determine how to bring somebody into your platform and how much you charge them for service?
Yeah, so we're at about $100 a month. We have an intern research team out of my alumni base at Syracuse that's been really great at providing, before the game, here's the stats analysis that you should look at. We do a lot of educational videos. We're on a platform called Winnable that makes it super easy to send out emails, text to our clients. So, and then the live betting for the football. We're looking to expand to other sports, but that's really the value they're getting for their $100. So it's not, and then personal access to both me, my business partner Andres, other members of our team that they don't get with a lot of these other tout or handicapping services that you want, that a lot of people call it. We're an actual corporation with shares. So we run this as a business. It's not a solo person thing. It's really a team effort there, and they get a lot of value out of their membership. So we definitely think it's, there are picks and information hit, but also like they're getting a ton of value for that $100 a month.
So in other words, this is subscription based, not, for example, hey buddy, let me give you a couple of bucks. I need to take care. You're not a bookie, right? So
No.
it sounds like you are, it sounds like what you're saying is you are subscription based. And when somebody joins into your membership platform, you're giving them the tips, the algorithms, and your feedback about what's going to happen at that week's game.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, we're not taking any bets there. We do have affiliates that we work with and send them to and get paid on that as well. So that's something we're really pushing, moving into the kind of off season with football is just getting our affiliate people to sign up for our affiliate sportsbook partners for daily fantasy and, the regular games as well.
So you hit on something which is important. You're seasonal. You're predominantly focused on football season, and in just a few short weeks, that season will end. So what happens next? Right now, I know when you and I try to connect, you're like, hold on, let me look at my schedule. And I'm going, hold on, let me look at my schedule. So even to get today, right, for the two of us to connect took some time. So what should we expect in the off season? Should we be learning, educating? What are you looking at?
Yeah, there's definitely a in the summer with baseball, there's like a dead period after hockey and basketball end at the mid to late June. So between that time and mid-August, it's not dead, but we've been really trying to push into other sports. So last year we dove into soccer, but now I think UFC is the big push. That's the real year-round sport that we're looking at. And then we have March Madness, NBA and NHL. So yeah, there is a little gap there. We're looking to do some more educational content, but that's just part of the game of everything's kind of jam-packed into the college football starts in late August and then, goes through, which just finished up last night. So we're on January 20th here. So it's part of the game. You just kind of plan for it, and there's a lot of planning involved. And then once the season hits, every day counts, just like for these teams and such. So it's really, pedal to the metal. We put some more marketing and advertising budget, and then we kind of bootstrap the business in the off season there. So I've gotten used to it over the years. It's just a busy time. Like I love when football starts, and right now I'm like, oh, I can't believe it's over kind of thing. So, but I'm like happy I get a couple months to just be to myself and do that.
Gives you probably time to regroup and refocus as well. So
I
yeah,
watch I watch literally every NFL game. I have 5 TVs right behind me here, so nobody watches more football than me, except for maybe scouts and whatnot. So it definitely drains a little bit, but make sure I got like blue light glasses and all that stuff, so I don't have any issues.
and are you set to pick who you think is going to the Super Bowl this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Chiefs are gonna repeat first time it's ever happened, but history is always made to be broken, and I think they'll play the Eagles. So a rematch we had from a couple of years ago, which was a great game, but yeah, we've got a couple great Super Bowls the last couple of years. I think we'll get another good one, unless the Commanders win with a rookie quarterback, which would be another first there. So a lot of firsts going on here, but yeah, it should be exciting. Should be 2 good games on Sunday.
I love it. So for those that are listening right now, how does somebody get in touch with you if they want to register or be part of your platform?
Yeah, so we're exclusively on Winnable now. They're a site for handicappers. Actually, there's not too many corporations like the way we run it there, but they can follow us on Instagram. That's our most used platform. And then from there, there's the link for winnable.com under Make Vegas Pay there, and it shows our subscription packages. There's also a free plan as well that will, we sent out our UFC picks Saturday for free to get some more exposure there. So yeah, it's not all paid. We like having people in the door to see what we offer, and then if they want to move forward with that payment, they can, but there is a free option as well.
I love it. So once again, everybody, we are talking to Simon Weiss with Make Vegas Pay, MVP. So let's spearhead into another topic.
Sure.
You do a lot of education and you do a lot of speaking, and today you are on the opposite side because you also host a podcast. That's how you get a lot of your information, and not for nothing, you guys have a great time. It's fun. Your show is set up very differently than my show. So tell everybody a little bit about the podcast and how and why you decided to get that platform off the ground.
Yeah, that's definitely. I know you have the experience there, Ron. That's definitely a challenge. Transparently, just monetizing it. There's plenty of content, but you also have to look. Hey, how do I get this content into a digestible video with a hook and call to action? I think that's been our biggest challenge. People don't like long form content at the end of the day, so it's really making it digestible and packing the value in there. But yeah, we've been talking about doing a podcast for a while. Me and my business partner Andres. Just getting it off the ground was tough, and there are expenses that go in with the cutting and the editing and the equipment and all of that. So definitely something now that football is wrapping up, kind of gonna still do it, but changing gears on how we do it and how we structure it. Because we can make the funniest video in the world, but if it doesn't have a good hook or it doesn't have a good call to action, then it's going to be tough for us to convert those to our free picks and ultimately as subscribers there. But we're excited for this year. I think starting it for the first time in August, definitely a lot of challenges, but learned a ton about it. So I think moving into this next football season come August, we'll be in good shape, and we'll tinker with some things in the offseason here, just like these teams do.
I love it. So, you are obviously a young entrepreneur. We won't say how old you are. We'll just say you're in the under 30 category. So, as a young entrepreneur, what have been some of your biggest challenges? And do you think that the industry that you're in is able to support your growth plan moving forward?
It's a great question. I think the industry I'm in is definitely able to support what we're doing. Sports betting becoming legal in a lot of states. There's a ton of people betting on it. The live betting we know is going to be a big thing, and it just takes some buy-in from people. But yeah, it's a crowded space, but I think the way we operate in terms of running it as a corporation, having our interns from Syracuse really help with a lot of projects there. And not being like that scammy guy who's like, oh, hey, Rhonda, this is going to be guaranteed that the Chiefs win the Super Bowl. Like, we don't usually make those kind of claims and statements. It's more data backed facts and all that. So, yeah, that's how we differentiate. It is a crowded space, but there's a lot of scammers and fake people out there, just like with a lot of industries, right? So,
So you're one of the good guys, is what you're saying.
we had a group chat with two of the other companies we're partnered up with, and we called it the Good Guys Club, actually, because there's a lot of bad apples out there, and it does, maybe you won't get as much revenue and such, but I'm not the type of person to be like, yeah, I'll just get paid and scam people out of money. Like, I want those long-term clients and relationships, and I think that's what we do really well. Is I talk to these people one-to-one. Even if I have a bad day of picks and stuff, they trust me long term, and our process.
When you go into the leadership role, which is really where you are right now, there's always challenges that go hand in hand with being a leader and supporting a team. What has been your biggest challenge? And then the second question is, we are a business show, right? If you had a shout out ability to tell somebody a 30-second pitch about who you are and why they should invest with you, I'm sure, like all other startups, you are looking for investors. So I want to know your biggest challenge, and then a 30-second shout out to why an investor would want to put their money with you.
Yeah, so biggest challenge is being a leader. I mean, like, going back to college, I was vice president of my fraternity, and I kind of like being second in command. of everything. And that really got me to manage different groups and such. And ever since, I've always been a leader of like planning trips for my friends and doing stuff like that. But managing a business, I mean, the challenges are endless. I think financially, that's the toughest thing. Where do we spend our money? Do we focus on the revenue drivers and such, versus things that aren't really driving that revenue? So I wish I'd taken more business classes, but yeah, it's a challenge managing people that aren't really getting paid much right now. So I have a team of people that believe in me, believe in the mission, but they're not really getting paid much. So how do you motivate people to do that? If they're not getting paid is the toughest thing. And I'm able to assemble a great team, including my business partner Andres, and a few others that haven't really paid too much, but given equity and such to help with that. So I would say, yeah, being a leader is running a business, a corporation is definitely a lot more challenging than I thought. I thought, hey, I'm going to leave my job in April and this is going to be easy. And, ended up spending a little too much, but that's the money front of it. You learn a lot of how to manage personalities and people from there. And then the second question was,
If you had, if you had a 30-second pitch as a shout out to the investors that might be interested in your platform, I'm assuming you're looking for funding and growth opportunities. That's part of what you and I cover in our coaching sessions. So if you had the opportunity to be in front of a room full of investors, what do they need to know? Like, what is your pitch and why do they want to put their money with you?
yeah, so Make Vegas Pay, we are at the forefront of the live betting space. We're looking to create our own app or platform to really showcase that. But the live betting insights and analysis, we also have that pregame stuff. But again, at the forefront of the live betting space across sports, we see that as a blue ocean of opportunity for folks to get into. The market is expanding. There's nobody really doing it. It takes a lot of time to do it. So that's what we want to dive into head first. Yes, the other stuff is important, the affiliate deals and our pregame picks that we give out. But at the end of the day, live betting is where we've really been able to stand out from the market. And I think with the numbers that I can showcase for where that market is going, an investor will see a tremendous return with a minimal investment, to be honest, going with us.
So we speak to different companies of different sizes all day. If somebody was interested in investing into MVP and they said, we want to come on board and give you $50,000, where would you put that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we definitely want to cut our costs from a content perspective. That has been a struggle there, but we've been told, marketing and advertising on like Instagram. We ran some ads in earlier this month. But that's where a lot of that money would go towards. We can do a lot of the stuff organically. We have our interns, we have our team that can do videos itself, but those paid ads, they're definitely costly, but they generate a tremendous ROI from the guys at Winnable who work with a lot of other creators in our space that are, some of them are on that scammy end, right? So I would say a lot of that would go towards marketing and advertising. If we got a massive investment, it would still go towards that as well. You can make the best video in the world, but if no eyeballs are getting on it, then it's not going to convert. So I would say, yeah, marketing and advertising for sure.
I love it. So if you had one last thing that you can say to people that are listening, or one piece of advice, what would that be right now?
For business owner or
Let's go one for business owner. We have 2 minutes. One for a business owner, and let's do one piece of advice for somebody who might be interested in using your platform.
yeah, so for business owner, I would say, knowing the financials, knowing where your ROI is, that's the most important thing. The second one was for
Somebody
somebody.
interested in going on your platform.
Oh, yeah. I would say if you come on our platform, it's a lot of information, it's a lot of data and such, but we are all here as resources for you. I do this full time now. I left my job in April, so I'm here for my clients, which most people can't say. And it's all backed by data analysis, research, and we put our faces on camera. We show who we are, and we celebrate the wins, but we also know there's losses involved as well. So I think the transparency people really like. Sometimes you get some hate comments on social media, but that's just part of the game there. So
So how, once again, does somebody get in touch with you and learn more about your company?
Yeah, I would say the top platform to go to would be Instagram. We're back on TikTok, which is good. We have about 33,000 on both TikTok and Instagram. YouTube, we're expanding, but you can send us a DM there. You can message me directly. And then there's a link in there to our beacons, which at the top is a link to our winnable page where you can get our free picks and get our information on there.
Now, is your handle just Make Vegas Pay?
Yep. Thankfully it is. We got verified on Instagram and all that, which took a long time, but that was good. So yeah, we can try to keep it simple with that. The website, if you want to check us out on there, it's all under Make Vegas Pay to keep it easy for people to, because I know spelling can be tough sometimes with company names and all that.
Understood. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I know it took a while to lock you down and get here. So hopefully we have the NFL season coming up on an end. And with that in mind, I'm sure there'll be a lot of people looking to do some sports betting. So for those of you that are listening, take a few minutes, go visit Make Vegas Pay. And until next time, stay tuned. We're getting ready to bring you our next guest.